Yo people, and welcome to CD Mag, the digital magazine that brings you up close and personal to inspire. And as you know, I go by the name of CD, and in this edition, we're going to be covering one of Europe's top ranked fighters. We're in his gym, all powers, in Manchester, and he's over there.
What's going on,
What's happening, bro?
Yeah.
Good, yeah? Good, man.
Let's do this, man.
Yeah, man, let's get it done.
Yeah?
Okay, and thank you again for joining us, and obviously thank you for bringing us through to your gym.
No problem.
You know, obviously, just I want to touch on a piece you just did there. Obviously, with all the team, you know, you got the fighters there, you got the magicians on. Sorry, the musicians on the come up, and I think that things like that, where you're bringing them through, you know, through yourself, obviously, through your platform. That's exactly why we started this. You know, we're bringing people up close and personal to inspire. So it's not so much of where you're at right now. It's where you've come from and how you've done it. You know, your journey, because you know. There's 1,000, probably 1 million KANE Mousahs out there who were in that situation you was, but may not have, you know, what it is that you have, or may think it's, you know, something, you know, something like magic or something like out of the ordinary to get them to where.
Yo, bro, man, Shaq. 1 second, bro. These man, you know what? Keep that running, innit? Yeah. You know what it is? Keep it running, because we're in the gym with the man them, and you know these alpha males that we're bringing through. They got a lot of energy in it, so it is what it is.
There we go. So I just want to start by me personally, just the wave you've created in like the last 18 months. Like, how have you done that?
Consistency, persistence. Belief, vision, dedication, discipline. Vision's the main thing. You know, even though you're probably going to ask the question, I'll just say it now. I grab inspiration from guys like Puff Daddy.
Same.
I grab inspiration from, forget about whatever it was, what avenue it was. Whatever avenue it was that he came in, it was just the fact that he's a workhorse and he wants to provide and be a leader and provide for his people and his family around.
Okay. He's one of mine as well, to be fair. One of my great inspirations. Again, I can definitely relate to, you know, the factors on what you see in him as well. I mean, let's start from the beginning. You know, you're from Manchester.
Proud.
We know that. We know that. You're obviously a family man. And I guess, you know, how important is family for you?
Family for me is, you know, family for me is everything. Family is what I do it for. You know, and including, you know, the guys that we work with, man, you know, they're the family. You know, I have friends that are close family. Do you understand? And for me, it's opening doors for everybody else, so everybody else can be their own boss in their own right and provide for their families. Because I've got a family to look after. You know, no one else ain't gonna look after my family. So what I do with these guys, yo, come on, man. What I do with these guys is, you know, I'm trying to open their eyes and make them realize that they've got the potential to be bosses and be leaders and do whatever it is to provide for their family.
Love it. Okay. And I don't know, like I feel you're a bit of a deeper thinker. Like, I feel like you have. This is just from what I know, and from what I see. I feel like you do have a different drive. That drive, what it takes to get to where you want to get to, or where someone needs to get to. Can you think of, you know, any? I know obviously we touched on Diddy there, but can you think of like where that hunger's come from?
I just think, you know, I think sometimes, like you see with Diddy, I think sometimes people are born with a certain mindset.
Okay.
And I think experiences in life lead you to be the person that you are. And I think the experiences I've been through, you know, it's no secret that I've been a gang member. I've been to prison for firearms, and it was in prison that I found the fact that I've always wanted to be successful. And when I was a gang member, as a gang member, I was successful in certain rights. You know, I went to prison, which in that respect, but in terms of being a strong figure within that, I've always been successful with it. And for me, it's just like, I just will not stop until
I love that.
I will not stop until me and my people reach the top.
That's it.
Because for me, you got to look at it like this, you know, I take my hat off to everyone, especially in London. Yeah, and I'm always the first person to take my hat off and be respectful to everyone in London and say, look, you know what it is? Like the men up there, yeah, the brothers up there are leading in a strong way. And my thing is to show everybody that we can do it as well.
Of course.
We've got what it takes. It's just that there's a different drive in London, and my aim and my main goal is to create that drive and that thought process in Manchester within everybody.
Love that. Wicked. So if we touch on fighting,
yep,
you're like one of the top ranked in Europe.
Yep.
That's an amazing feat.
Of course.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
How did you get into it?
Well, for me, more with the fighting, it was the basic fact that obviously when I was younger, my uncle's he's a fifth dan in martial arts.
Okay.
And you know, he was my main inspiration in terms of getting involved in fighting. But you know, being a part of a gang, you know, you had to be able to look after yourself, and it was something that when I found MMA, I found that as a catalyst to make me more respected, and it was a bit of a defense mechanism as well, because when people know you're a fighter, it deters the trouble, it deters the people starting and wanting beef with you. So for me, there was a lot of contributing factors that made me want to get into MMA. And you know, obviously when I went to prison, my career got put on a halt. And when I was in prison, I said to myself, and this is something about me, sometimes I have to take myself out of myself to look and think, right, you know what? I said to myself, I am going to be back out doing this thing. And when I went to prison, 4.5 years, I stayed focused, I stayed fit. I was sparring, fighting, you know, not bad, like sparring with people, not like fighting and getting in trouble for it. I was sparring with guys in the gym where no one could see, and making sure I stayed in shape. And when I got out, I just focused so much. And you know, I said to my friend Brendan, who I fight with, I said, listen, when I get out of prison, bro, we're gonna do this thing and we're gonna do it properly. And I never left that, and the desire never left me. And for me as well, one of my big major things is to make my mother proud.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me,
love that.
Like, I'm grinding for her. I'm grinding because I see my mum not be able to feed me and my little sister.
Okay.
I see my mum, me and my little sister, I'd never forget this one thing. Me and my mum and my little sister were on the bike. My sister was on the back of the bike. I was on the front of the handlebars, and my mum saved up money to go and get McDonald's for us. We were riding through the park, and the McDonald's split and hit the floor, G. And my mum was hurting. My mum was like thingy, and I wanted to pick it up. My mum said, nah, we had to go home and eat jam on toast. So I've seen the struggle that my mum went through to look after me and my little sister. So the fact that she sacrificed her life and looked after us so well, it's now my time to return that and make her realise that the choices she made to have us and support us was not a waste. So that's another driving factor.
Yeah, I got to shake your hand for that.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that, because I share the same drive.
Well, there you go.
And I believe this is why we all do it, you know.
Of course.
You know, thank you for sharing that with us as well.
All day.
I appreciate that. Obviously, I know we've touched on the fight, and obviously you're, you know, evidently a family man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the gear you're wearing.
Yeah, man. So, you know, this is my clothing brand. This is BADR Sports. You know, this come around by me. Like I said, this is what, you know, pushing myself in the public eye, work rate. It was recognised by my business partner, Carl. You know, he approached me and he said, look, you know, let's get this brand off the ground. You know, he wanted me to be the face of the brand, and we sat down, we went over the business structure and the approach of the company and the vision for the company. And I said, look, let's do this. I know I can do this. And come on, man, BADR Sports. Yeah, BADR. Yeah, I'm a BADR man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sense. And you know, the funny thing is, in Manchester, one of our things is our northern thing, or our Manchester thing is, yo, we used to say when we were young, I used to say, yo, I'm a BADR man than my man. Yo, I'm a BADR man.
Okay.
Like, I'm a bad man, innit? Like, that's our thing. So BADR just sat so right with me as my persona as a fighter. The brand suits it so much, and what we've been able to do, you know, behind the brand, and I don't mind letting people know the reasons why we've excelled so well, is because we've created a brand identity. It's about brand identity. When people can buy into your brand and buy into the story behind it, you will excel past these other brands who are just coming with a good name.
Okay.
What we've done is we've come with a name, our logo, our name, BADR, And then what we do is actively on our social media, we put brand identity, so fighters, you know, not just fighters, people who are strong. It's all about strength. This clothing is supposed to empower people. When you wear a BADR piece of clothing, you're a BADR person, BADR kids, you know, it's BADR everything, BADR all day, every day.
Okay, it's nice, to be fair.
Thank you.
It's nice.
But I have to get you in some, man, and you know what, and I'm not a hater as well. Shout out to my boy Jack Pretty on the Noir, because you know what, I started with Noir back in the day, and you know what, Jack's a good friend of mine, so if there was any other brand I don't mind you wearing, it's a Noir, and so I'll let you up with that one, yeah?
Shout out to Jack.
Shout out to Jack, my virtue Jack.
Yeah, man, wicked. Cool, he'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, you're a mogul, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, you're fighting, and that's your passion.
Of course.
But you have many businesses.
Of course.
You're a family man.
Yes.
And one of the reasons I had, you know, wanted to get you on here as well,
yes,
is because obviously, like I said, I've seen you, you know, around Manchester,
yep,
and the way you carry yourself, and it is different. And I guess I noticed that drive and that mentality, and that, you know, so thank you for obviously for joining us.
I appreciate that, brother.
What have you got in store for the future for us?
Well, like I said, you know, if we touch back on the fighting, you know, I've just beat Alex Edland, who was, you know, number 3 in Europe in the rankings. He was the featherweight champion at Cage Warriors. He held the same belt that Conor McGregor held before he went to the UFC.
Okay.
Alex actually got signed to the UFC. He went for a brain scan, they found the bruising on the brain, and that they had to release him for that.
Right.
He had 2 fights against 2 top-ranked opponents, and he beat them in the first round. And he had a 6-month period off, or a year, and then, you know, I identified him as someone who I wanted to take, you know, I wanted to fight him. I wanted to take that and let people know that I have got what it takes to beat these guys. I called him out, he answered, we went for it, and it was a war, which I'm fighting a champion.
Yes,
he didn't lose his belt. He vacated the belt to go and with the UFC, so in my eyes he's still a champion. Manchester's lacking,
right,
and that is what I'm trying to install and motivating everybody to say, look, up your game now, especially in the music industry as well. And especially in the MMA industry, because Conor McGregor's kicked open the door for the MMA guys.
Yeah.
And I'm reaping some of the rewards of that. Don't get me wrong, I've got personality, character, so that shines through as well. But the music industry, London, yeah, there's people from Manchester who have opened the door, who have shined the light on. And you know, I'm the person to make everybody, not just me, but everyone's on it themselves. But I find myself in a position where I want to show everybody and make them know that we can do this thing.
Wicked.
So that's where we're up to.
And just the last one to touch on. What would be your
perfect world?
Yeah, your perfect scenario. Yeah.
Perfect world, perfect scenario would be, right, I'm going to be a little bit better and say I want Manchester as a whole to come through, and show people. I want to get that spotlight that's on London, that's shining on Birmingham a little bit. It is on Manchester, but it's not there.
We'll be keeping a close eye.
Yeah, definitely.
1,000,000%. We'll definitely be in touch again, and you know, if you need us to come down again.
Well, what we'll do is, like I'll say, you know, every time a milestone's touched, we sit down, we reevaluate, and we move forward again.
Wicked.
Yeah.
And if you want to let the people know again where they can find you on the socials.
Yeah, if you want to get me on the socials, it's Kane M14 on the Instagram, it's Kane86 on the Twitter, and obviously on Facebook, it's Kane Mousah. And if you want to catch me on Snapchat, that's Kane Danger on Snapchat.
Wicked.
Yeah?
Love, bro.
Yeah,
there we go, man. There you have it.
Hey.
Thank you.
You see that? You see that? See this? These are the people that make things and let you people know what's going on. Yeah?
Thank you.
Love my brother.
Thank you so
All
much.
day, every day.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Wicked.